Hi, Alison Mead from Silicon Bullet here. I am a mentor for unconfident bookkeepers and help business owners understand their bookkeeping, how to get it organised and what it all means. So I was helping a chap today who runs a limited company but didn't really understand how you would pay taxes and how you would pay yourself from that limited company. So there's many people that start their own business and might have a reason advised by their accountants to make it a limited company rather than being a sole trader. But if you are paying yourself out of a limited company, you need to do it in a particular way. Otherwise, you would not be paying your taxes properly. Even if you're a director of a limited company, that business is an entity in its own right. And the money earned, the profit that comes into that business belongs to the business. And it doesn't strictly belong to you as a director of that business. So there are certain ways which you can remove money. So you can run a payroll, which means you need to register with the HMRC as a payroll provider, and you would pay yourself a gross salary, and you may well take national insurance and tax off and pay that to the HMRC weekly or monthly, usually monthly, as a director of a limited company. This may be the way to go, but even if you pay yourself a really small salary, it still needs to be registered and it needs to go through and be taxed at source. So, for example, for myself, I pay myself a salary. That means that I pay a small amount of national insurance and I make use of my tax allowance that I get each year. The other thing that you can do as a limited company is, as long as you're making a profit, you can't do this if you're making a loss. As long as you're making a profit, you can also pay yourself dividends. Now, at the moment in 2018-2019 year, and then 2019-2020, you need to pay tax on you get the first couple of thousands of dividends tax-free for each director, and then you pay 7.5%, I believe it is, on everything above that. And this is something that you would do as pay that tax as part of your tax return at the end of the year. But what will happen is your limited company will have also paid corporation tax on your profits. So when you are looking at your accounts and you're working out how much money is yours to take out and do what you like with, what I tend to do is look at what my profits are and save 20% in my company to cover the company's tax bill. And then of the money that I pay to myself, you also need to put 7.5% of that away to cover your personal tax bill at the end of the year. Now, I've shouted a load of numbers at you and you may not get it. So what you really need to do is talk to an accountant. I would always recommend talking to an accountant. They will tell you whether it's best for you as a business to be a sole trader or to be a limited company. And then speak to someone like me, a bookkeeper, just in order to keep your records right so that you can know at any time how much profit you are making, so that you can then see whether you are able to pay dividends or not. When a business first starts out and you may be making a loss because you've got a lot of outlay at the start, then you can still pay yourself a salary and process that. But maybe as a business owner, you're not actually taking that salary out of the company, even though you're processing it and declaring it to the government, to the HMRC, but you can then leave the net pay in the business as a director's loan into the business and then take it out later when you are starting to make a profit. That can be a good tax efficient way of managing your finances too. So if you run a limited company, don't just take money out of the bank account out and treat it as your own. Make sure that you speak to an accountant or an experienced bookkeeper and you take the money out in the proper way. So that's Alison Mead at Silicon Bullet. You can get more tips on my Silicon Bullet YouTube channel or go to blog.silicon www.siliconbullet.com for blogs and video links with more hints and tips. Thank you very much. Bye.